Hello, my name is Bobby and I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager here with ScriptRunner. And today I'm going to be showing you how you can use the ScriptRunner Migration Suite to quickly and easily migrate your data from ScriptRunner for Jira Data Center over to ScriptRunner for Jira Cloud. In this video, we're going to be covering the Analyze and Assess portion of the Migration Suite. We're going to be showing you how you can use this feature to quickly and easily get a report on the state of your ScriptRunner for Jira Data Center instance, and how ready it is to move to cloud, and the pathway on what moving from data center to cloud will look like for you. Before we actually start using the tool and showing you what it looks like and how it feels, we need to show you how you're going to get the data from data center. In ScriptRunner for Jira Data Center, you'll notice a couple of new features. We're going to be talking about two. The first is a new built-in script, where if I go to built-in scripts and I look for instance, we will have an instance audit built-in script. This gives you a report on your Jira for your Jira data center's health, what it looks like, how it's looking, and how ready it is to migrate on a wide-scale basis. Once you've done that and your Jira instance as a whole is ready to migrate, what you can do is go to the script registry, and in ScriptRunner for Jira Data Center now on certain versions, which if we go to the documentation, you can see it is available 8.54, 9.19, and 10 onwards. You will have a new button in the bottom right-hand side with Export All Scripts. Alternatively, you can export active scripts only. When you select this button, it will give you an export of all of your ScriptRunner for Jira Data Center configurations and scripts in a zip file ready for you to use with the Migration Suite. Once you've got that zip file, all you need to do is go to the Migration Suite and the Analyze tab, give your migration a name, and then bring over the zip file. Once the zip file has been uploaded, you can do Upload and Analyze. And what this will do is do an assessment of the configurations, scripts, etc. that are stored in that zip file and give you a report on how ready it is to go over. So we can see here at this dashboard now we have that information. So just looking at what we have available, around 30% of our configurations are ready to go over to cloud. There are 4 in which a review is recommended and 6 critical findings. Just to give you an idea of what each of those means, ready to migrate means that your configuration, your script is ready to go over to cloud as is. However, it does still need to be rewritten. There's going to be no changes in functionality or how it works, but the code itself does still need to be converted to use the Jira Cloud REST API as opposed to the Java API that is available in Data Center. Review recommended means that there are going to be some changes or some things you need to be aware of. And whilst that script can still go over, you may want to review those to ensure that it doesn't cause any negative impact elsewhere. And critical findings means that there is something blocking this particular script and configuration from going over to cloud. The reason behind a critical finding can be as varied as it can be as high level as the feature just does not exist on cloud. For example, REST endpoints or script fragments, where the feature REST endpoints where the feature doesn't exist, or script fragments where the feature is severely limited in terms of functionality compared to its data center counterpart. It could be a level below that where the feature exists, but not in that certain configuration. So for example, with script listeners, you could be listening for an event that is not available on cloud, and so we can't bring that over. Or it can go into the code itself and say that we cannot bring this over because you're using Java API endpoints that are just not replicated in REST endpoints on cloud. And so we can't reproduce a script because the endpoints are not available to us. We also give you information such as duplication of scripts and a breakdown of all of the findings and all of the statuses of scripts per feature. So to show you an example of a critical, if we were to go to REST endpoints, obviously REST endpoints as a feature does not exist in cloud. You can see here that we have a list of the scripts, or in this case, the script, and what the status of that is. I can go to see the details, and here, where possible, we will suggest alternate means on how you can reproduce that functionality without ScriptRunner. So when it comes to the custom REST endpoints, we recommend ScriptRunner Connect, which is our integration platform, which has the functionality to be able to reproduce that tool. You can see we do have additional information about what the configuration and script is doing. and we can go to the configuration and analysis to review if we want. We also have the ability to have the AI agent explain. We'll be talking about the AI agent later, but we do have the ability to have this. So if you have a custom REST endpoint and you need to review it to understand what it's doing in detail, before you decide whether or not you need to keep it or not, you can use the agent to explain that. As opposed to configurations that have a critical flag, there is obviously a warning and ready. So if we go to listeners, for example, we can see we've got one of each. If I go to warnings or in review or needs review, we can go in and we can see that again, we have this information here. We have an additional button, again, using the AI agent to convert, which we'll see in a second. But we have the findings section here where it highlights areas of importance or information that you're going to need when it comes to migrating this script or configuration. The majority here are info, which essentially just means that there is information about this migration you may want to know, but isn't critical information. And then the review flag here, so that you're aware that something is going to be changing or some configuration is going to be modified, and you need to be aware of that before making a decision on how this particular script migrates. And then finally, for anything that does not have a critical or review item, we'll be able to see just again the information tag there so that we can see information about how this is going to go across and what things are going to occur during the migration, but no warnings, nothing, and we're ready to go and click the convert or explain. So as you can see, this analysis tool is designed to give you a quick and easy assessment of a Jira and ScriptRunner instance. Previously, where you would have had to have trawled through every script, read every line, understand what each script is doing in isolation, and then also cross-reference that with what's available on cloud to see if it could be reproduced. It's obviously a very time-consuming and intensive task to have to do. It requires a significant amount of knowledge. Here, this tool gives you the ability to just drag and drop a file in and give you all of that information in a report that gives you the ability to drill down as deep into each configuration as you want, but also this high-level overview so that if either yourself or someone else is doing a migration, you can give them an idea of what level of complexity is involved. If it's 200 scripts and 170 are ready to migrate, that's a relatively straightforward migration using the AI agent, as opposed to something with 50 critical findings where you're going to have to make decisions on how to whether that item needs to come across at all, or if it does, how you're going to reproduce that. So that is the Analyze and Assess portion of the ScriptRunner migration suite. Thank you very much for your time and have a great rest of the day.